What is up everyone, this is Brad from Brickstar here and I am back with another video, and of course it is a LEGO Marvel video. As some of you may know, I am on a journey to getting every single LEGO set based on the MCU, whether that be Polybags, SDCC exclusives, all the normal sets, etc. And it also includes the CMF series, which I have here. I have series 2 here. So this is set, it does have a set number, so this is set 71039, Marvel Studios Series 2. Obviously there was a series before this. These released on 1st of September, and they will retire on the 31st of December this year. They are 5+, and there is 12 minifigures in total, and they retail for $3.49 in the UK, $4.99 in the US, and $3.99 in Europe. Now, I was lucky enough to grab the entire set before the 1st of September. I know a lot of people did. I know they were available in stores sort of early. I was lucky enough to find stores in my local area where they were available early, so I managed to get the entire set before the 1st of September, but I am trying to get a secondary set, as some of them do have sort of different faces and different hairpieces, etc. But I'm glad to at least have a full set. So I'm going to get into it, and I'm going to review each minifigure individually, and then I'll give my overall view of the collection itself. So first up here we have Titan, who is technically not actually part of the MCU yet. There are rumours he's going to be in What If Season 2, so this is sort of an early minifigure to get. Of course we got minifigures from What If in Series 1, which I'll also do a review of at some point, but he's the only minifigure from What If in Series 2. I do like this minifigure. There is so much detail. As with every CMF series, there is a lot of detail on the minifigure. We've got feet printing here at the front, and we've got leg printing, which is very detailed, as you can see there. And of course, the helmet is also detailed. A lot of people originally thought this was going to be Ant-Man's daughter, sort of. I think this was originally meant to be Kang the Conqueror, and then everything sort of came out about the actor, and they sort of had to change it around. But nonetheless, this minifigure I really like it. It's a nice minifigure. There is a lot of detail on the front torso as well. There's not much to go off other than comic pictures, of course, because he's not actually been in the series yet. There is some arm printing as well, just on the side here. This is the same helmet used for Ant-Man, I believe. It's got the same sort of side pieces there, but still, nonetheless, I do like it. And of course, there is printing on the back as well. The legs are dual molded, which is really, really lovely to see. And there is even side leg printing as well, which is very rare in Marvel. So there you go. That is nice to see there. Overall, a really nice minifigure. He also comes with a mini Ant-Man, which is becoming a lot more frequent in sets now. You can't really see, he's one of the tiny figures. He's becoming a lot more frequent in sets. He is in the upcoming Avengers Tower set as well. But you can just pop him on sort of Titan's hand like that. If we do take his helmet off, he has this facial expression, which is a more sort of angry facial expression. And then if you turn it around, he's also got a more muted facial expression. It seems to be a lot that LEGO are doing this. They're just giving sort of muted facial expressions as with angry ones for the Marvel characters, which is fine. He also does come with a hairpiece, as I mentioned earlier. So you could, if you wanted to, have the hairpiece on instead of the helmet, which is, it's sort of the Falcon hairpiece, the piece that Falcon was given. But I think it works for him. Again, there's not much to go off of, but I think it works. And if you just turn it around, it's a bit different, I guess, because there's a bit sort of down here, but it's pretty similar. But it works well for him. I prefer to have the helmet on, but if you do want to have the hairpiece on, of course, you can with that. Overall, though, generally nice figure. Moving on now, and we have Beast from X-Men 97. So X-Men 97 isn't particularly part of the MCU again, but it is a show that they're bringing back on Disney+, obviously based on the 90s X-Men animated series. So this is a really cool minifigure to have, the first based on that show at all. I love this minifigure. I've not actually seen this show yet. I'm dying to watch it. I've just got so much to watch, but I am going to watch it at some point. I think this is a really cool minifigure to have. Again, there's feet printing there with the little claws, just adding a bit more detail, and there's leg printing and torso printing as well. No side arm printing here, but it's not too much of an issue considering his body is basically just the fur, which you can see there's back printing there as well. And I like that the belt does continue around the back. Sometimes Lego, you'd be surprised, don't do that. The face here is a nice sort of, he's got the nice glasses. I do believe he has another facial expression if I just turn him around. He does, he has a lot more angry facial expression, as you see there, so you can sort of put the face back on and look, he's a bit more angry there. The headpiece I really do like. It is its own mold, I think. I don't think this mold has been used before. It's nice as well because it's got sort of, it's dual molded, it's got the ears here, and it's got the black streak going through the hair, which is a really, really nice touch. Of course, they needed to do that for Beast. But overall, I think, again, a really lovely minifigure. And he also comes with an X-Men mug, which Lego seem to like adding mugs in pretty much anything these days. But I'm not going to knock it, it's an X-Men mug. And he also comes with a little build as well. Obviously, a little science build. I think it's sort of a one of those science objects you look through and you look at sort of the microscopes and stuff. That is probably the word. You can just pop that on his hand like so. So that is Beast in his entirety. I quite like the minifigure. I think it's a nice little addition to the set. Would I have added X-Men 97 minifigures? I'm not sure, but overall, I like all of them anyway, so. Keeping with the X-Men 97 figures now, and here is Storm. And God, she looks so good too. The detail on her torso is great. If I just release that, you can see there the two X-Men logos up here. Again, leg printing, feet printing, albeit not much feet printing, but there is feet printing there. I love this cape. So this cape sort of goes around her hands there and sort of comes around to create this sort of arched design. If I just lift that up as well, you can see there is some back printing as well. And there is this sort of not domed, but it's sort of I don't really know how to describe it. There is that piece that keeps that adds more as well. It's sort of, instead of using a cape piece there, they've used a sort of plastic piece, which they're doing more often, and I appreciate that. The facial expression, I believe she only has one facial expression. She does, because this hairpiece could not fit for two, but it's not the best facial expression. It could have been a bit more, inventive, but it is what it is. But I do love the hairpiece, though. The hairpiece really makes up for it. This is a whole new mold, I believe. And it had to have it in white is really, really nice as well. It's a really, really, I mean, everyone who's watched my channel knows that I love the color white, but I just think it's a great, great hairpiece there. And she comes with, of course, two lightning strikes, which are just, you are just able to pop on like this. If I can just do that. There we go. So there you go. She comes with two lightning strikes, just like that. Nothing too fancy, but they're nice to have in sort of translucent yellow as well. So overall, again, good minifigure. And for the last of the X-Men 97 minifigures, we of course have Wolverine. And I, again, love this minifigure. Everyone's a fan of Wolverine. I'm a fan of Wolverine. This is my first comic accurate, or sort of almost comic accurate minifigure of Wolverine. I think it looks great. I think it looks just like the TV show. I love the new mold for the sort of headpiece, sort of with this coming out a bit further, the sort of earpiece is coming out a bit further. It looks great. I'm glad they used sort of a piece like they do with Captain America's shield rather than sort of drawing it on the head. I'd much prefer that. Again, leg and feet printing is quite minimal, but it is there. Dual molded as well, which is nice. There is arm printing, just adding a bit more detail, which is really lovely. Dual molded arms, which is great. And the back printing there as well. He's of course got the claws, which attach by, if you put them on his hand there, so they attach like that to give the claws. And you can just take this off, and then you can see underneath he's also got sideburns. They've even added detail onto the face there, and he does have another facial expression, which is more of his just normal face. He also comes with a separate hairpiece like Titan, so you can just pop that on. It is the usual hairpiece that is used for him, but it works well. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as they say. There you go, there is the hairpiece there. And if I just show you as well with the other facial expression, that is what it looks. It looks more better with this facial expression, if I'm honest. That is the hairpiece there. And he also does come with, if I just put that back on, he also does come with a Titan head which is kind of a random addition, I won't lie, but it's welcomed. It would have been more useful if, like, throughout the series you could collect to build the entire Titan, I guess, but he does come with a Titan head, and we are getting X-Men 97 sets coming out soon, so perhaps this will tie into that. But again, overall, a nice minifigure. Next up, we have Werewolf by Night, which is really cool to have here in the set, as it is, of course, from a special presentation. So it's not from a series, it's not from a film release in cinemas, it is from a Marvel Studios special presentation, which is the first minifigure we've got from that. I did not expect this one to be in the set. Of course, the special presentation is in black and white. It has now been released in color, but it is in black and white, so it's kind of nice to get it in color, but also would have been really cool to get it in black and white. But nonetheless, I'm happy with this minifigure. It doesn't look entirely accurate, if I'm honest. Obviously, it's in his werewolf form. He was a lot bigger in his werewolf form, but it is what it is for a minifigure. Again, some nice torso printing, leg printing, feet printing. Not too much to go on there. There is arm printing as well, which is just a nice addition. And there is back printing again. I do like the hairpiece that has been used for him. There is his other facial expression as well, which is more the confused expression. I'm not really sure why they used the confused expression. I don't think he was ever confused in the werewolf stage, and again they used a happy facial expression this side, which I don't think he was ever really happy. But weird decisions, if I'm honest, by the Lego for those, but it is what it is. But I do like the hairpiece, as it is sort of molded specifically for him with the ears on the sides, and I think it does go well with the character. Sort of this is bobbly sort of hair, but overall not the greatest minifigure in the series. There are a few choices I'd probably make differently with this, but it is a nice minifigure overall to have. I did also forget to mention that Werewolf by Night also comes with the red gem that, of course, they are looking for in the show. So he comes with the red gem there. He does come with 2 of those as well, so he has a spare in case you lose it, and that's what it looks like on him there. Next up is Echo, and of course she made her debut in Marvel's Hawkeye series, but apparently this minifigure is from her own series, which has yet to release, and I believe is releasing in January. So again, this is kind of a strange one, strange addition. You would think they would have added it from the Hawkeye series, but nonetheless, it's welcomed. A lot of people don't like this minifigure, but I really, really like this minifigure. The detail is insane, and also sort of look at the leg here, the dual molded leg with the metal leg is just crazy good. Like, I'm so happy with that. And there is still leg printing on the sides. They even did leg printing with the metal leg there, which is just crazy good. I just love everything about this minifigure. There is arm printing on the side, there's leg printing on the side there as well. The detail is insane. Look at the detail on the front torso and the feet and legs there. Like, that is crazy insane for a minifigure. I don't know why people don't like this. That is crazy insane. It looks amazing. I like her facial expression. I think it works well. I think the hair works great. The hair is specific to her as well. If you see, there's braids, and there is even printing on the back of the hair, which they really did not need to go and do, but they did, so that's even great itself. If I just take off that, there is also another facial expression there, which is a bit more of a happy facial expression, but again, I think it works for her. And there is back printing as well, which I just think this entire minifigure is so, so, so good. I really don't have any faults for this. I don't know why people don't like it. The one thing I would say is the weapon it comes with is a bit strange. If I can just get that on her. There we go. The weapon she comes with is a bit strange, but nonetheless, you know, that's a really nitpicky thing. So overall, I love this minifigure, one of my favourite from the entire set. Up next, we have She-Hulk. I like this minifigure. I think it's great. I know, again, people did not like it. They didn't want her inclusion. People just didn't like the show in general. But again, look, we've got great printing on the legs and the feet and the torso. And I think, of course, we didn't get to see her in her suit that much in the series. But I think it looks great. And there is also arm printing. They're dual molded, which is great. There is dual molded legs, side leg printing. They really went all out for this series, and I really appreciate that. The face expression, it suits her very well. I do believe that is her expression. I like having this If I can just take that off. The hair does not want to come off, evidently. I just like the hairpiece in green. This is the hairpiece I think used... I don't know who it's been used for actually, but I like having it in green. It's a really nice addition. And if I just turn her around, there is another facial expression. And even though it's not a sort of angry facial expression, again, it feels like it suits her because she was sort of more like that in the show. So, and there is the back printing there. If I just pop the hair back on. She also comes with 2 accessories, which are really nice and detailed. So there is this first one of Emil Blonsky's file, which I think is really cool. Of course, he was a major part of the series. And there is also, if I can just pop that on, does it want to go on? If I can pop that on, I can't get it up, there we go. There is also a mobile phone with Wong on it, who of course as well was a surprise major part of the series. So there is Wong on the mobile phone, so that is a really cool little thing to have there. I think overall, of course it's going to pop off, overall a really nice minifigure. Next up we have Hawkeye, who is of course from the Hawkeye series. It's really lovely to have a new suit here. I think that's really fun. There is absolutely no leg printing at all, which is a bit of a disappointment, but he does sort of wear black trousers anyway, but it would have been nice to have something. But I do like the printing on the torso. It is a bit minimalistic, if I'm honest. But again, they could have given us nothing. So at least they gave us something. We've got a new suit for him. And I do like sort of, we've got the black hand this side just to represent the glove. There is no arm printing really. I mean, it's very minimal. You can see there's sort of just a bit of black at the top, which is a bit frustrating. And there is some nice back printing on the back as well. But what I do think really, really stands out from this Hawkeye minifigure is the hairpiece, which is just a great hairpiece. It's brand new for his minifigure. It's a great color. It suits him really well. Like, it really, really works. He also has a facial expression with a bandage at the top of his head. And if we just turn him around, then there is a facial expression without a bandage and with a happy tone on his face. The great thing about Hawkeye as well is that yes, he doesn't have much printing, but if you just take his head off, we are also given this, which is a set of bow and arrows that can just go on his back there. You can just pop his head back on, like so. And then if you turn him around, he's got the bow and arrows as well equipped. And Hawkeye also comes with a bow and arrow himself. So he's got the set of arrows. He's got the set of arrows and he comes with a bow and arrow. And kind of weirdly as well, he also comes with an owl, which wasn't any really significant part of the series, but I guess it sort of just suits the character, you know, from the comics. So they gave us an owl as well with Hawkeye. So again, probably for me, this is my least favorite of the series, but I just really, really love the hairpiece, so it's great for that. Next up is one of my favourite minifigures to go with Hawkeye. It is Kate Bishop, and of course she is also from the Hawkeye series. There is leg printing on the front there, so she does get leg printing, and she has obviously torso printing as well for her suit. She has different coloured arms, which is great. There's sort of a dark pink, sort of a magenta-ish pink, and there is arm printing on one side to sort of reflect the suit, which is great. I love the hairpiece. The hairpiece is really, really nice. I believe it may have been used, I'm not sure who it was used on. It's got the ponytail at the back. I think it works really well for her, for Haley Steinfeld. It's great just to have a minifig of Kate Bishop. There is also torso printing on the back. Again, not too much, but it is nice to have it. And there is leg printing on the side. As you can see there. There is just these little details which add a bit more, and again there's leg printing on the other side, and it's not identical on both sides, which is really nice as well. Makes it look a bit more rounded out and complete. And again, if you just take off, if I just turn her around, sorry, there is another facial expression where she also has a bandage, but on the opposite side, and is a bit more angry, of course, because of that. And if you just take her head off as well, she also comes with a set of bows. She comes with a set of bows, which if you just pop her head back on, which when you turn her around looks like that. She comes with a set of bows. She also comes with her own bow and arrow, which is actually brown this time, so it's nice not to have it in the same colour, so it's not repeated. It is a brown bow and arrow. She also comes with a 2x2 tile, which is a pizza box, which is really nice reference to the show. Of course, that was a massive part of the show. The pizza box there, hit the spot. I'm not sure if it actually said that in the show, but that's a really nice reference, which you can just pop on her there. And then the really cool part about this minifigure is that she comes with Lucky the pizza dog, and I love this mold. It is exclusive as it does have the winky eye that Lucky the pizza dog has, if you can just see there, if it wants to focus. There you go, the winky eye there from Lucky the pizza dog, which I think is really cool to add as well. So again, really great minifigure. Up next is Mr. Knight, who is of course from Moon Knight, the TV show. This is one of the alter egos of, is it Mark Stevens? I can't remember his name. This is one of the alter egos. This is sort of the more polite, the British ego. Mr. Knight, which is so cool to have a minifigure in. Not much detail on the front of the legs, which is okay, but then there is a lot of detail on the front torso, which is great. And there is a nice sort of detail on the front head here, and you know exactly who it is instantly. There is not much, there is no printing on the side arms or legs, and there is very little detail on the back, so that is disappointing in itself. But for some weird reason, they have continued the detail up to the back of the head. There is no second facial expression, obviously, because of that. But to make up for it, to make up for the lack of detail, they do give you this nice little build, which is of course the goldfish from the series in the little tank, which I think is a really nice, cool little feature. So you got the goldfish in the tank, which I didn't expect, which is great. And of course, he comes with two of these sticks, which of course Black Widow made famous, but in a different sort of darker grey colour, which is fine. Again, not really one of my favourite minifigures, but it's just cool to have Mr. Knight in minifigure form. And there is no Mr. Knight without Moon Knight. So here is Moon Knight, and my god, what a minifigure. I think this is one a lot of us have wanted for a long time, perhaps more in a set though, rather than in a minifigure series, but still it's so good to have. Look at the detail on this minifigure, that is insane. There is literally printing everywhere. The legs are dual molded, there's printing on the feet, on the legs, which, oh my god, it's just incredibly detailed. Of course, it matches the suit, which looks amazing. There is printing on the side of the legs and the side of the arms, which I believe is not replicated. It might be replicated. Is that replicated? It is replicated. But still, to have that printing is insane. Of course, there is the printing on the face there. I kind of wish we'd got a hood a bit different to this. Maybe we'd got a hood like not Captain America's, but yeah, maybe a bit more similar to Captain America's, where we didn't have to have the printing on the face, so we could take the hood off, and it would, one of the hoods maybe that you get in Star Wars minifigures, so that we could take it off and have an actual facial expression underneath. But nonetheless, it looks great anyway. I do like that this is its own specific mold with the Moon Knight logo at the top. The white cape is really nice, as anyone will know. I really like white on minifigures. I just like white on anything. And if I lift up the white cape, there is continued printing on the back as well. If you just lift up the helmet, you can see there is actually a facial expression on it, but I just find it a bit strange because if you put the helmet on, it just doesn't suit. Like, we never saw him really like that in the show. It just looks odd to me. I don't know, I would not have it like that. So that was a weird decision for me, but nonetheless, it looks fine this way around. So it looks great like that. And he does come with one of the little I believe it's one of the little artifacts from the show, which is a nice little touch, and I believe you get two of those. And he also comes with one of his signature weapons, which is great to have in Lego form. It's a really nice little mold there, which again, I think you get two of those, so you could have one in both hands if you wanted. Honestly, really great minifigure. There is some odd choices. That's not going to go back on, is it? There is some odd choices made with it, but nonetheless, it's a really brilliantly printed minifigure. I'm just not going to put that on. It's a really brilliantly printed minifigure, and I think it's one of probably my second favourite in the series altogether. And lastly, it was Agatha all along. Of course it was. Here is a very, very long overdue minifigure from WandaVision, or I guess you could say it's from her own series that's coming out soon, Agatha. Oh my god, I love this minifigure. Again, one of my favorites from the series. I'm just happy to have her in minifigure form. I love Catherine Hahn, who plays her. I just think she's brilliant. I think she's one of the best Marvel villains of this phase. I just love the show WandaVision. I think it's great. I think the facial expression is great with the wink. I love that. I think that's so new and fresh, and I love it, and it suits her so well. The printing across all of her torso and she's actually got one of the dress pieces. It's not actually legs, it's one of the dress pieces, which is fine. I think that's fine. I think leg pieces would have worked too, but it doesn't matter to me. I'm just glad to have her. A purple cape as well, which is really great. I do believe there is printing underneath. The printing does continue underneath. If I can just grab her. If I take her hairpiece off, there is another facial expression there as well, which is a bit more happy. I guess when it would work better if we had her in her like sort of human form. There is the printing continues as well, if you see there under the cape, which is just brilliant. There is no arm printing, but that doesn't really matter because everything else is so detailed, and I love this winky face. The hairpiece is great too, actually. It's really sort of frizzy and definitely suits Catherine Hahn's sort of characters. She comes with 2 of these blasters, which are nice to have in translucent purple. They sort of look witchy. They're far better than like Wanda's just red 1x1 blocks, which she keeps getting. I'm not sure why. These, of course, do shoot. I'm not going to shoot them. I know some people would shoot them. I'm not going to shoot them because I don't want them to go and fly everywhere. And she does also really, really nicely come with this book, which is so nice. It's like a nice addition to the set. If it wants to focus. This is the Darkhold book, if you can just see there, which is so, so good. And if you open it up, you can see as well the Darkhold in there, which is so, so cool. That's such a cool little feature they've added. And you can actually get her to hold it there. I've just got her holding the blasters at the moment, but that is really, really cool to have as well. Again, love this minifigure. I think it's a really great minifigure in this collection. So there you have it. That is the entire set overall. Those are my thoughts on the minifigures individually. Overall, as a collection, I do really, really like it. I just don't think it's as good as Series 1 for me personally. I think there are a few minifigures here that we've not even seen in TV shows or films yet, which is kind of just odd generally. I think there was an opportunity to have more minifigures potentially from other shows that we and other Marvel Studios special presentations that we could have got here. For example, Miss Marvel minifigures would have been great, and obviously Mobius from Loki would have been fun, but I do think that these minifigures are great. Like, the minifigures themselves are great, but I just think as a collection as a whole, it's kind of a strange collection, not as great as Series 1. Series 1 had what-if characters, it had characters from like the biggest shows at the time, and I think that just upped the hype, whereas these, for me, don't exactly have that same hype, but I do love some of the characters individually, some of the minifigures individually, obviously Agatha, Moon Knight, Mr. Knight, the Hawkeyes. I just think as a collection, it's a bit lacking for me more than Series 1 was. But let me know what you guys think. Have you got this? Have you got the entire set yet? Do you like it? Do you prefer it to Series 1? Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you all on the next one.